I just said, if we can go back 10 years from now, who do we show the trailer to? TF2 fans or Half-Life 2 fans?
The answer is yes.
And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and most importantly, whatever the hell else. No harpoons, no shark. But we'll come up with, together with you, Shot Realm Dynamic, helping us form Cocaine Voltron. Man, Sling Blades, Alien Ant Farm, Creed Groupies, all this and more available in the pre-Super Chosen and the uncut version. If you're a patron, go back and listen to that, or just tune in live. Come watch us on Saturdays. Plenty of fun stuff to talk about this week.
We can definitely take you higher.
Have fun. I'm in that. Like on Thursday, I want you to think about Jordan. I do. I mean, like, why am I?
Just in general on Thursdays, think about me.
Yeah.
Fan art. Love it. Okay.
He's 6 feet from the edge and he's thinking.
Is that a Creed song?
It is now, dude. All right. What's up? What's new? Dude, been playing around with a bunch of fun stuff, doing a bunch of cool shit over on Interfacing Linux. I've shown these guys my new cool heatsink for my 06 because it came with an unobtainium case, something you cannot has, but I got one, and I'm going to show you how to stick it together. It's nice and metallanium, like I talked about last week, so I got that video shot. Pretty fascinating piece of kit, but once I get that wrapped up, man, I did that mini review on the GeekCom A5, and we talked last week about, like, Valve's like, hey man, here's SteamOS. If it works, it works. It don't work, not our problem. Well, let's see what it takes to set up a Steam machine running SteamOS. So that's an upcoming project. It's got the hardware. On paper, it's faster than a Steam Deck. Might be a really fun experience. It'll be something to keep track of and see where we're at right now on step one before, good Lord. Okay, gentlemen, I heard them say it last night because I caught the live show after we got done with Trackmania RPG last night. Linus Tech Tips, the WAN show. See, I remembered it. They talked about SteamOS. That me tuned in when I was cooking dinner. They're like, so, were we going to do the Linux challenge? I'm like, oh God. And that's how I was like, where are you going with this? They're like, yeah, we're going to run it for a month. We're going to run SteamOS as our primary operating system for a month.
It's the same people are like, I'm going to run PlayStation 5 as my primary operating system for a month.
So I want to get that video out and done, Jordan, out and done, Sandy, and be like, before they do that, just so I could be like, and never run, like, however I'm going to set that conceit up in the video of like, who do you have to be to like want to run this as your day in and day out?
No, you gotta like, for the people who care about like LibreOffice performance and like spreadsheets and if you want to make a PowerPoint presentation, right? Like, yeah, you gotta like, I don't know how you even frame that shit, man. Like, yeah,
it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge. But once I'm done with that, the gaming will not stop, because then we're gonna come back to this 06. We're gonna be playing around with FEX because Valve likes FEX. I did the video on Box 64 with a rock chip. Well, this has got that 12-core behemoth monster thing in there, but it's also got that PCI Express slot. I don't know what I'm going to order yet. If I'm getting like a RX 570 or maybe a 580. 580s are a little pricey, but the 8 gig 570s, they're looking about right. Might pick up one of them.
I mean, 8 gig's good enough for everyone, right?
It should be, man. Those things are about like $40-50, so that should be enough grunt to see what this FEX thing is all about, because get wrecked if you think you can follow that guide on the FEX quote-unquote wiki. Not hating on anybody on the FEX project. I understand that's not your primary focus, but anybody that walks into that, man, you better have some institutional knowledge about the FEX and how it's set up, because like, stay tuned. Jordan, you watched Robocop, my man.
I watched The Crow for regular people.
What?
Yeah, that was, yeah, like literally there was that meme someone posted where it's like, the Crow is Robocop for goths. and so that had stuck in my brain for a bit. So I'm like, yeah,
too much going on in my brain. Calm down. Like I'm thinking about like RoboCop dressed up as a Skrull with a trench coat on.
Brandon Lee in armor
or something like that, right?
Something like that. Sandy can talk to it more, but apparently the RoboCop versus Terminator comic actually really good. So we watched RoboCop because I had saw the meme, I'd been a little obsessed with it, and I'm like, you know what? Let's see if this comparison actually holds up. And yeah, at a very superficial level, it does. Man, that fucking scene when they like fucking murk Murphy at the beginning, I remember it being way more gorier as a child.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember him just getting like fucking destroyed, but he just gets his arm blown off and like shot a bunch. How
does it hold up? Like I remember like watching it as a kid, and I'm like, again, we were talking about Futurama in the pre-show. Was like I knew there was stuff in here I wasn't getting, and like I didn't get the satire of it.
Yeah, no, the satire is very much in all of the fucking commercials they show you in between and SUX. And the news, like the stories they tell you about, like, oh yeah, Mexico is going to war with the rest of South America. Anyways, there's a new car out. Yeah, like, so yeah, like the satire is there, very much there, very much holds up. I gotta say though, one thing I didn't really expect, the fucking theme, whenever he like comes on the scene, for whatever reason, my brain like auto completes that to the Naked Gun. And now I want to see the RoboCop Naked Gun crossover. I want to see Robo Nielsen like don't move.
Oh no.
Speaking of weird ass crossovers, right? Like the goth Leslie Nielsen RoboCop. That's what we need.
Yeah.
The
Police Squad RoboCop.
The movie holds up pretty well.
Ed 209 scary? Not anymore, because like it just looks.
It was actually pretty comical. Like I think like the prospect of what Ed represents is scarier than the actual like thing on screen. Like the law enforcement robot that like misinterprets the law or like does not see that you're like surrendering or whatnot. But then he like goes down the stairs, and it's very funny.
Oh, got the whole foot out.
Yeah.
Why it sound like a dying pig? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It fucking throws a temper tantrum when it's on its back. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It is
baby.
It is bizarre seeing all the fucking Twin Peaks crossovers. Like half of that fucking cast is in Twin Peaks. Yeah. It is a trip. And Kurtwood Smith as the bad guy, Red Foreman does a great fucking job as just like a real despicable guy you want to just see killed.
I think I like RoboCop 2 more.
Okay. I don't think I ever saw RoboCop 2. I never saw.
I don't even know if I'd recommend like giving it a watch. My only like RoboCop story is I went to go see RoboCop 3 in theater.
Was that the one with the jetpack?
Yes, this is one of the. Yes. I remember seeing. I saw a trailer for it at another film, and I'm like, oh, RoboCop and this was not. I was a kid, so this is probably 6, 8 p.m. Maybe not even 8. Probably like 6 on a weekend or something. I was the only person in the theater.
Yeah,
apparently it just. I went and looked at it later. Like nobody wanted to see it.
Yeah. I heard it was bad, but like I have no notion. I've only ever seen the first one.
The RoboCop TV series was all right.
There was the cartoon, the animated.
I hadn't
series?
seen the cartoon. I'm talking about the live action one.
There was a live action RoboCop.
I didn't know there was a live action one. I knew about the cartoon.
Yeah, I only knew about the Saturday morning cartoon. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, this is crazy.
But I brought this up in the previous episode, Chosen. But after the credits roll of RoboCop, you have to manually insert the real post-credit scene, which is the Korean fried chicken commercial, where RoboCop comes out of the television and goes, "What the hell, fried chicken?" Steals their fridge and goes, "Yo, I'm about to eat." Famous RoboCop quotes.
Murphy, put that down.
I'd buy that for $1.
What you up to, man?
Not a whole hell of a lot, like just mowing my lawn at decent hours, and just doing my thing around the house, trying to fix things, and
you're gonna get that fixed. Yeah.
Well,
the TV's not hung.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. It's right over there being not hot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sure.
No,
Weirdly, my hand is there.
No, it's like, what are you talking about? I hung the TV last week. Do.
Yeah,
Fucking gaslight
I had
him.
to take it down because I
What?
had other stuff to do behind the wall.
Yeah,
Don't
an important wall business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wall needs to breathe. It's a breathing load-bearing wall.
Fortunately, our horse is both non-breathing but load-bearing.
It is. It actually breathes through the skin like a frog. You got to keep it moist, otherwise it dries up and just becomes a weird paste. It's the SteamOS
Update.
Caca.
Oh man, the turns have tabled. We talked about SteamOS getting released last week, Sandy, and it looks like people have taken it for a test drive.
Oh yes, they've taken it out for a test drive in this latest article from Windows Central, which I was kind of baffled by the fact that they actually did this.
I like me a good baffling.
Comparison. Yeah, and so they came through. They bought the Lenovo Legion Go S, which is the SteamOS version, and the regular Windows version.
The regular Windows version, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Windows
my favorite
OS.
version of Windows. Windows regular.
Yeah, Windows regular and unleaded. This is the things that we come to buy. So yeah, he runs through, in the article, he runs it through its trials. So he tries out games like Cyberpunk 2077, Helldivers 2, Doom Eternal, Spider-Man 2, and Witcher 3. And yeah, you get to see some comparisons between, same hardware but different operating system, which, we kind of been harping on since the early days of LinuxGameCast. You got to test things on same hardware. But yeah, it's definitely proves what we've been saying for years.
What are you talking about? Famously optimized PC game Spider-Man 2 runs better on Windows than on SteamOS.
Man, dude, Jordan, my man. Does this come as any surprise that SteamOS is more performant on handheld devices other than Windows that's just like screeching at the top of its lungs, like throwing stuff at the screen, trying to figure out where it's at? Like, I don't understand this hardware.
No, this has been pretty consistent for the past 2-3 years, ever since that Proton GE version got benchmarked against Windows, and we've been seeing consistently higher performance, especially on lower hardware envelopes. But yeah, I mean, it is to be expected. It's just more evidence on the pile that says that Linux is a legitimate gaming platform. But you're always going to hear the people who are like, no, but anti-cheat. I can't run Monster Hunter on my Steam Deck. I can't run. I don't know. Can you run Stellar Blade on a Steam Deck?
You should be able to. I'll find. Well, my Steam machine when I'm rolling, but
tune in next week. Find out. YouTube.com/interfacing Linux. Gotta plug that shit.
Weekish.
No, tomorrow, 5 minutes from now.
The video's going up when the TV goes up on my wall.
Let's fucking go. Let's do it. No, man. 2D battery life gaming comparison was brutal, dude, because they're like, okay, 3D is one thing, but hey, let's be honest. A lot of people use their Steam Deck and their handhelds to play their 2D games because, they are normal, intelligent people. And they're like, as Jordan points out, this is not a, high-end gaming PC, but the battery life difference for 2D gaming was brutal. 3 hours more on the Steam Deck. 3 hours. Like that's a whole lot of getting killed to death in Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man.
And it's a funny little turnaround too, because for a while, battery life on Linux, especially on mobile, has kind of been its big weakness here.
We've been here right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So some magical combination of the fucking APU the Jupyter APU and whatever optimizations they've put into the kernel drivers. Yeah, it's fucking working.
Goes to say, and this is one advantage the Steam Deck will have is, the same advantage as any console has. Your hardware, your hardware target. You can optimize the snot out of it, and you don't have to worry about too many variables,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Absolutely.
That is going to get a little muddier now as we're adding more and more handhelds. So,
right. But it's all not horse-colored roses, Jordan. There was one game where the Windows stomped.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck, my man.
You know, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, one frame of responsibility, at least.
It was pretty damn decisive there.
Yeah. One
Hot
frame.
damn. Hot damn.
Listen.
That's it.
Spider-Man.
That's it. I'm not using Linux anymore.
Light it up, man.
No. You don't understand. If Spider-Man was using Windows, Uncle Ben would still be alive. That 1 frame a second was the time that he needed to fucking rescue Uncle Ben. So there you go. Linux kills Uncle Ben.
Poor Uncle Ben, doomed to die in every Spider-Man movie for the rest of our lives.
The only person who can stay dead in comics.
Somebody wakes up.
The only person.
Yeah. He just shows up at the office at Sony. He's like, so it feels like killing Uncle Ben for this decade. All right.
Yeah. Oh, they really. Oh man, they gotta cast like Sean Bean as Uncle Ben, never kill him.
Sean Bean knows he's into that shit. Yeah,
never kill him. Never fucking kill him. Just like lampshade that the entire fucking time. He's just like, oh, he's gonna die. He's never dies.
Gentlemen, when I heard that, like they're legitimately making a Dark Souls movie, I'm like, Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Prepare to die.
100%.
Yeah.
Like there's no one else. There's literally no one else who can do that.
If they don't have like a fucking montage where like the main character dies like a million fucking times, but it's set to like the most ridiculous la 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 music, like I will be so disappointed.
Well, I mean that or Freebird. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, Freebird.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, tell us about the exciting news from our pals over at Team Green.
Yeah, you love not owning games and still being able to play them? Well, I guess technically you can buy them on GeForce Now, unlike Stadia. But yeah, GeForce Now, a buried lead, available on Steam Deck for you. They have an installer script that you can run, and it will set it up. You can log in with your GeForce Now account and play all the games that would get you banned if you tried to get them launched on a regular Steam Deck because of anti-cheat. And this is going to be like honestly, like this is probably a big thing in regards to that, because now you actually have some officially supported mode of playing stuff like Fortnite, or you know what, just games that require more horsepower than say a Steam Deck is able to provide. And so there's already a decompilation project happening. Jason Derulo on GitHub, like Jason Statham, Jason.
Well, I guess we need to back that up a little bit. Why do we need a decomp?
Well, as I was saying, there because the installer script has a couple checks in place. Yeah, it does a hard version check for SteamOS, and also they through the decompilation process they realized, they're just installing it via Flatpak, and so someone else on another GitHub page, they posted it in Linux Gaming. I forgot to throw the links into the show note, but they just said, "Yo, here's the shit you need to do to actually just run the install the Flatpak on your regular Linux distribution." But yeah, the one thing I'd really be interested to see from this is like the battery life comparison between like this and Steam in-home streaming, because that was the other thing that Valve was promoting. They have a lot of the Steam streaming stuff fairly optimized for the Steam Deck, and I've heard some people say that it's actually like it's like decently playable if you're
as long as it's like GPU accelerated. That's something I did like early on, like last year. I showed like the temperature and power usage difference between having MPV hardware acceleration on versus doing it with your CPU, and it's drastic. Yeah, because you don't think about like we don't even think about it. Like you don't know, like your modern CPUs can watch a 4K YouTube video and you won't notice it, but it might be chewing up like 30 watts to watch a YouTube video when it could be using like 2. So and Steam Deck does have hardware acceleration. It's got the bits on there. So I think it's kind of like button is button on that one. Like streaming is streaming.
Yeah, and like I was gonna say, like the I'm really more interested in the battery life because like it's a handheld. That's what people are interested in. Mm-hmm. The quality comparison, like it's 800p. Like you're looking at it on like a 7-inch 800p.
They
monitor.
made a good thing in the trailer though. They said, "What if you got it docked?"
Maybe if you got it docked. Yeah. Then yeah, but I guess if you want to use it in that configuration, in my mind, it is a portable console. If you do want a dock thing, there are better solutions out there, like the fucking thing you reviewed.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking, like, do I really want to pay $20 a month to play my own damn games? And like, apparently, a lot of people do. Like, you got to fight to get time on this thing, and okay, like, as long as you got SteamOS installed, or like Jordan said, I guess so. I will update the show notes with a link to that. So if you just want to go play around with it. And yeah, I installed the SteamOS this week. I'll be talking about that probably next week. The pretty easy to do GeForce NOW subscription service, and you're like, I only subscribe to Final Fantasy, right?
Exactly. That's the only subscription I pay for is Final Fantasy 11. I ain't paying for GeForce. Like, I like owning my games, man.
I don't know, man. I think.
So I think with GeForce Now there is a thing where like if you are paying for the subscription, you link your Steam account. If you own the game on Steam, you can play it on GeForce Now. Yes. I think that's how that works. It's not like Stadia where it's like you bought a digital copy of the game that goes away when
your library.
Yeah.
If they run it through, they
install it on their computer and then they stream it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well, there you go, man. There you go. You don't have to be insane in the membrane.
Gabe does though.
Valve CEO Gabe Newell's Neuralink competitor is expecting its first brain chip this year. This is the Steam segment, so we can talk about it because why is very maybe not obvious, but this whole thing came up about, Gabe wanting to do brain chips with a developer talk way back in the years of 2019. But, just for like game interaction, stuff like that with the VR type stuff. And they're like, we're just going to spin this out to its own company. I'm like, that's horrifying. I love it. Gaben wanted to like really figure out how to make this stuff work. And they're tricking, you think about Neuralink. Neuralink's like a big chunky thing. This is like a bunch of little small spindly things, much more horror sci-fi, little tentacles.
Hopefully a little more ethically implemented than Neuralink too.
We'll ever find out. You got to break some eggs, kids.
It's actually a hamster on a wheel shoved into your brain.
I'm just saying, Steam Authenticator about to get lit, son. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. We're gonna figure this out. Speaking of like breaking eggs, like one way or the other, we will get to the brain computer interface. We're maybe not in our lifetime, maybe not the next generation. But I almost want to be around to hear those conversations because people are always going to gamers are always going to gamer. People bragging about their hardware, shifting from your mobile phone to who's got the best brain chips in their head meats. I'm like, do you have the RGBs on your port?
Do you have RGBs coming out of your skull?
Now, here's the question though. Once that's in play, what is our time to laughing man?
Hacking. See, this shit's gonna get interesting.
Listen, man. I watched Ghost in the Shell. Yeah. I watched Standalone Complex. I know how this shit ends.
It's gonna get interesting.
Yeah, not well for anyone.
I like having the access, being able to get on the internet. Like this has just been the cornerstone of sci-fi that we've been reading since we've been reading sci-fi, right?
Like the actual application for this, and they bring it up in the article, is for like people with like Parkinson's or multiple sclerosis or things where like they have like they have issues where they have no motor control, and this will allow them to like bypass broken nerves and like enable like mobility in people and like enable functionality in folks. And I think like that's like the real like benefit of this. When people are like, oh, I want to jack into the Matrix and like do cool kung fu flips, I'm like,
yes, we do.
We do, but we probably shouldn't. The dystopian science fiction is a warning, not a how-to.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let fantasy hold me back from reality.
Don't. We gotta create the torment nexus, you guys. It's really important that we create the torment nexus from that hit novel. Don't create the torment nexus.
Yeah, little kids. All right. One new game this week we got to talk about, and it is an amalgam. It's but it looks like a fun, weird one. Maybe.
Indeed. There is 100% Trapper Keeper DNA in this thing.
Yes.
But this is Lambda Fortress. This is absolutely the fucking wacky crossover bullshit I want. You like Half-Life 2? Do you like Team Fortress 2? Do you ever wish you could play Half-Life 2 as, the Heavy or the Demo Man? Or heaven help us,
Okay,
oh my god, I really... Yeah.
I have to say, if we can go back 10 years from now, who do we show the trailer to? TF2 fans or Half-Life 2 fans?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
All right.
I do want to see a full playthrough of this as the spy because I feel that would be like so fucking funny. But yeah, I also really want to see this version of Freeman's Mind, but this is it's a free mod. You got co-op. You can it's basically Synergy, but crossed over with Team Fortress 2, and I fucking love this. I want to see like them to add like Deathlock or like Deathlock is the name. Deadlock characters or like other shit or like Mega Man into Half-Life 2 or some shit.
And I mean, listen, we're looking at this through a very clear perspective of having been through Half-Life 2.
Yes.
In co-op, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
meet the Freemans. Go dig that one up on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
To be announced. There's not a planned release date for it, but we come down here and they're like, as long as you got those Ubuntus, and you need a Team Fortress 2 and Half-Life 2, you need them both installed, man. Oh,
yeah,
man.
You need the 2 GBs.
Once this is out, I 100% want to do this on the fucking stream. This
100%.
Coaxinon, if you are listening, if you happen to track and somebody points you in this direction, we will play this game. We will be entertaining to the best of our ability. We will stream it at a high quality, and you will have a recording that you're going to get nowhere else, man. So, like, hook us up, get a little early access for it. We're here, man. We're like,
we're a little slobbery at the moment, aren't we? We're just like,
we'll make this happen, man. Call me. Bad news, though.
Oh man, Pyro and Ravenholm, fucking shit.
Pyro.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It is. So good news, but we do got to pour one out. The end of support for Linux for that game. We played one time and we got killed after riding around in a buggy.
In a Jeep. Yeah, we got sniped. That was great.
We thought we were doing good there for a minute. We're like, hey, we got a ride. And just pap, 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 pap. Like,
and we were all nice and clustered together, and that dude just like, pop, 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 pop.
We had this collective illusion that we were getting behind rocks and survive. We didn't. No, not even a little bit. Talking about cursed Cuisine Royale, the battle thing, like, I get that most of you are like, wait, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, I know. But people play it.
I think I went on a date who looks like the girl in the G-shorts.
All right.
I don't know.
It's free to play, so it's definitely been a thing. And they have an announcement, the end of Linux support, which is basically get wrecked Linux dorks. They don't even bother with the why in this announcement. They're just like, hey, we're going to inform you that no longer supported on the Linux operating system. You know, it's an inconvenience. However, we just recommend that you completely switch to a different operating system. So don't worry about it. You know, piece of cake, bro. No harm, no foul, unless you bought like character skins and stuff. Like, you don't get a refund for that. Just, do the thing. Now, why? I did a little journalizing. I did. What they did is it previously used EAC, Easy Anti-Cheat. Been working on Linux for a long time. We don't even think about, like, if EAC is not supported in the game on Linux, you're just okay. They just don't want to support Linux. Again, I'm fine with that, coming out and be like, we just don't want to support Linux. Get wrecked. I'm like, I don't like it, but that's better than like reasons.
Yeah,
they switched from EAC to BattleEye.
That other not supported anti-cheat on Linux.
Wait. Yeah, it is. It is. BattleEye has had Linux support for a long time. So this boils down to the nice song and dance of like, we just don't want to deal with Linux anymore, which has caused the game. Let's head over to that page. The reviews are mixed. 69. Nice. Let's just go take a look, because this just happened. Oh boy, people ain't happy. Hey, I know that guy. I know that guy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Pedro.
Turns out the only people who are playing this game were the people on Linux.
If I could refund that $17.99 character purchase, yeah, dude. Linux support has been removed. Goodbye. Hang on. Where's Le Chart? Yeah.
Oh wow.
No.
Okay. Now the reason I want to bring this up, if you were a developer, you need to keep this in mind. This is a post Steam Deck world. There's a couple of million Steam Decks floating around out there. It's not just us sweaty, sensual, hot Linux nerds anymore. The normies.
I'm oily too.
And oily.
Yeah, very.
Sandy's
oily.
a little greasy, he said. Always a little pre-lubed, ready to go.
I'm always pre-lubed.
Telling you, baby.
Always.
all these Steam Decks are out there. Normies own them. People just, your friends have them. You just took a fucking game away from them. Like, get wrecked, Linux nerds. Enjoy your fucking review bomb. People are not going to be happy when they go to like fire up their Steam Deck or Linux desktop PC, but a lot of Steam Decks and like, where'd my fucking game go? Oh, just put Windows on your Steam Deck, bro. Go play in traffic. How about that?
You're only going to do that if you're going to play Spider-Man 2. That's the only justification.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think there's probably a good chance that we will see the enablement of BattleEye, which has Linux support on this. If not,
you don't even need to install anything. You just need to email them, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. If you played the game and it's gone away, yeah, like this is a way to be like, get wrecked. I mean, go leave a negative review because rightfully so. It's a game that just got taken away from you. Get wrecked.
Yeah, especially if you paid money for it. Like,
yeah,
not cool.
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Now, I will say most of the people in our audience got Rocket League with their Steam controller, so they didn't actually pay for it.
Yeah. Pay attention, children. This is what a Steam controller used to look like.
Back in my day, this was a real Steam controller.
To us, this is like, oh yeah, we'll go get our Steam. Every time I have this thing and it's not in here, it's out on the fucking desk. Somebody comes in the studio and they go, "Oh, is that a Steam controller?" Or they go, "Oh, what is that?"
So dusty. It's so dusty.
Mine's not because I'm working on a Steam Deck video. I cleaned it up.
Look at you, Mr. Lysol Wipes.
I had to. This trigger was a little. This thing is so fucking well built, too, dude.
Oh no, they're fucking sturdy as hell. I've dropped mine a few times, and like the floor has a dent on it. That's like.
Give us another one, Valve. Give us another one. Sandy, have you ever been outside of Rocket League? What was the last time like a rug pull game? Just showed up one morning. You're like, I can't wait to. Well, all right, guess not.
No, it was literally Rocket League. That was the only game that really like that hurt me, man. That was like,
I wish Rohit was listening right now, because wouldn't it be? It would be hang on. What's the right way to do this on the internet? It would be completely impossible for somebody to take the last Linux build of Rocket League and to hack together the server for it.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't be done.
No,
impossible.
Couldn't.
There you go. Too bad.
Speaking of controllers, though, yeah. So not quite the Steam controller. Little more hot pink.
Pinkarang or Ranga pink?
Yeah, I don't know. It's greasy pink. But yeah, the DualSense PlayStation 5 controller. It's a nice one. I've liked it. I actually do like it a little bit more than the DualShock 4. Just in terms of like hand comfort.
Yeah, okay. It looks like it's more comfortable to hold, dude.
Yeah, and it has some issues. There's a bit of joystick drift. Occasionally, those joysticks do wear out. But it has a bunch of neat features in it. It has like a bunch of haptic feedback. It has a bunch of pressure sensitivity, and it actually has 2 speakers embedded in there. It's not just the headphone jack. It also has a speaker up in the front right here that some PlayStation games took advantage of to like scream at you.
Computer.
Yeah, while you were playing your game, and now this functionality is available in Linux in the driver. So you will there's a little bit of a quirk involved in detecting whether or not the headphone jacks are plugged in, because apparently this is a class compliant device, and you're not really supposed to do that kind of stuff in class compliant devices. Either way, yeah. If you plug your headphones in, you will still be able to access the onboard speaker and use it for your output. And like I don't know, there's all sorts of weird shit that gets added in controllers these days, especially like Nintendo and Sony are the ones who are really trying to like push the controller into like some new interesting directions, but the rest of the industry is not having this because most people do not have a controller that has all of these features. And so all of these cool like gameplay add-ons that I think can like add more immersive gameplay elements to games don't really get like utilized just because the functionality isn't there. So I like to see when these things like make it into a general driver, so like they can be taken advantage of, they can be detected and then used.
I don't know. I thought like, Valve was really forward thinking when they put the Pez dispenser in these things, though.
They were. I use it for Molly though.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Sadie, what do you got? What are you rocking? You got PS4?
Yeah, I got the DS4.
PS4. Yeah, I got one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're holding up. Your hand is completely empty.
Damn it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't see it.
I literally can't.
This one's got a headphone jack in it too, right?
They do.
Yeah. I'd never.
It's got the headphone jack at the bottom.
Weird.
Yeah.
I'd never think to do that, but I guess that's like a thing you would need to do, right? Like in certain situations.
Yeah, no, if you are playing on a PlayStation and you don't want everyone else to hear what you're doing, because like, there are other people in the room or whatever, then you just use the headphone jack on your controller and then it just like sends all the game audio over that.
Yeah.
I'm like panicked horse enough when I'm in here like testing these single board computers and I get them plugged in like one of these monitors and I'm violently reminded that there's speakers when it makes like a notification sound and beep.
That's always fun. It's like, there are speakers in this thing? What the fuck?
Holy crap.
I don't want to imagine how it would be if my controller started getting a bit shouty at me.
At least it's not like Acer monitor levels.
Yeah.
It just starts screaming at you.
Yeah.
Which could totally happen anytime, Fate, and we'd be super cool with, by the way. P.S. Fuck off. Good God, dude.
Yeah, you just gotta mute the onboard speakers. That fixes that.
Yeah, there was nothing to be done about like that. Would genuinely cause like palpitation for a second. You're like, God, what the? Okay.
Yeah. Especially when it happens at like some random fucking time in the day too. And the anti-theft system is just like, I'm being stolen.
Like, do you know how big you are? You're not being stolen. Nobody's stealing you.
Yeah. You
Especially if you're attached to that base.
Yeah.
Dude, get right. Who has a MacBook? Okay. Oh shit. We got props. We got props,
now,
baby.
Is this
look,
the
look
one?
at him flexing.
It is.
Look at you. Oh shit. Okay. That is a functionless, keyless. But you got the touch bar.
I got the touch bar, yeah.
How is that? How does that work? I mean, how do you all right, how do you even Alt F4? What is the equivalent?
Okay. So there is a key that you can press on the keyboard
like the
that switches
key,
it.
Right?
Yeah, that switches it to the function keys. And then also on a per application basis, which is super fucking annoying, you can tell it to switch back to the function keys instead of the integration.
No,
and like that was the thing. Like, I can see the utility there. Like, if you are using a piece of software that has like that integration and like it's handy, maybe, but like, I don't know, for whatever I use the computer for, I just wasn't super keen on losing the function keys. But there's this thing now.
Hang on, I've only seen one practical application for the touch bar.
Doom.
Of course.
We can play Doom on the touch bar. I mean, ultra wide.
Yeah.
Ultra wide.
It's called cinematic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
24 FPS.
Yeah.
No, like the old movies that are like super fucking narrow aspect ratio.
Like the 70 millimeter
ultra mega cinematic
scope or whatever.
Yeah.
Tarantino, put down your foot, or whoever's foot. Come
put down Uma Thurman's foot, please.
Well, I bring this up because Flexbar, USB Apple Touch Bar clone, now supports Linux. This is what announced a while back, and if you looked at that touch bar and you're like, that's jelly, or like you just wanted to add one to another system, and that's what it is. It's a USB thing you plug in, USB-C. You can put it anywhere. You can put it on your laptop or like, a little thin Stream Deck. And they made good. Part of their crowdfunding thing was, we will add Linux support. And they did. And on top of that, this is at omg.ubuntu.co.uk. There'll be a link in the show notes if you want to go check it out. And you could even if you didn't get it on the original project, they're going to be like, hey, we're going to be selling these $179, so they ain't cheap. They're saying like shipping, if that's like milled aluminum or something like that, like I don't know. I'm probably going to shoot them an email and like send me one. Let me take a look at it. And
give it the whack test. Hit him with it.
Okay, I was going to be like Flexbar, and I'm just going to record myself like bending the shit out of it till. Don't listen. Hey.
Pause the video. Pause the video.
No,
skip ahead 5 minutes.
Just send it to me. All right, there we go. They got 196 units, so apparently they did a run of them. The software is an app image, which is kind of neat, man. They got like a little hub with, where you can like set it up to like notifications, like OBS, or just like different little things, or you just want to put funny pictures on it. Maybe you want to use it as a timeline for like Katie and Live, or something like that.
I could see like maybe some music production stuff as well. They're like sliding instruments and stuff that you could do like a mellotron, like a digital mellotron or something.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it's an app image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I always like more peripheral options, right? Like that was my big problem with the Mac Touch Bar is like I do actually use the function keys for stuff. So like I wouldn't mind having the Touch Bar if I didn't have to lose the function keys. And this is a nice little compromise for that.
Oh, they got Windows Classic. You can get all the
Oh yeah. I want that. I want that for my Linux machine. Absolutely. Browse my network neighborhood. I don't even know what the fuck that's
integration,
for. Apple Music.
Okay.
There's
some neat little themes.
I'm sure a lot of them are just like, hey, this was the thing on Mac OS that they removed. You liked it and you want it.
You know, the famed software application GitHub.
Yeah, no, you just gotta right-click save, right?
Yeah,
that's how you download it.
That's how you do it.
Good old GitHub, the software application. Bastards.
The
software as a service, yeah. You know.
I think I got a bad rap. Like Apple messed up by like even today, like you can get a touch bar list.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the new MacBooks. Why? Because you can't do that Vulcan nerve pinch.
They just stopped making them. Like there's no more touch bars now.
No more touch bars?
No, they pulled that out. It was super unpopular.
Yeah. So yeah, people like those tactile keys, man. Like if you'd left the function keys and the touch bar, it'd probably still be there. People are like, this is dope as shit. I got this thing to play with. But like you don't think about those function keys until a motherfucker needs to hit F11 or F12 or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm. I miss having like more physical buttons on my phone too. I really feel that physical buttons need to like make a comeback. If only just to have like you know when your touchscreen's fried, you need something to fucking interact with, right? Like
think about this. We all had to do the 3 tap per letter code to text back on the desk.
Yeah.
The ability to check something out while your phone is over here back behind you as you're finishing a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Touch typing, because like you just and you could do that anymore.
Yeah. Like I like buttons. If I had my way, we'd all go back to like fucking big Frankenstein switches, but that's why I'm not in charge.
I
or
can
the
go back
slider
and
phones, the slider phones that came out and the keyboard was on its side.
Well, you think about this. Like this is like a straight because people don't have TVs anymore. Like that was like one of the first things that you wanted to do was to memorize a new remote control.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
so you didn't have to look at it.
Yeah.
Or you could be like,
yeah, how many buttons from the top for the channel and the volume and
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd always get the volume and the channel mixed up too. So like I'd fucking
I think everyone's gotten that one mixed up.
But I think I would be very happy. Like I've always wanted like a nice big glass panel, you know, something like that where I remember the Surface. The
table, yeah.
Yeah, if I could put a keyboard on there and I could also use like glide typing and move.
Yeah, I think we all want some version of like actually functional LCARs.
Yeah, I could see that.
The computers from TNG, yeah. Like if you actually try to use like the LCARs interface that like people make today, they're terrible because it's meant for like it's not like actually meant to be usable as a desktop environment, but like that's the dream, right? That's what we all want.
Mm-hmm. But I think, Sandy, it's going to have to be at a higher resolution than 1080p.
No. What are you talking about? You don't need anything better than 1080p. And I'll tell you why, Venn. Because PC Gamer just came out with an article that
you can just leave it there, man. Say no more. Right.
Say no
PC
more.
Gamer.
Say no more.
You don't even have to say gamer. You can just say because PC and end the sentence.
Like, shit, you're right, man. Fuck.
PC. Yeah, so they came out with an article talking about how the chief AMD chief
Azora High
chief engineer at
Chief Architect of Gaming Solutions and Gaming Marketing.
That's it.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah. He says the vast majority of gamers play at 1080p. So which they have like 55.27% of Steam gamers like are playing at 1080p, which I had found out. It's like, well, if you take that, roughly 25% of all Steam users are actually filling out the survey every month. So then 55% of that 25% is literally playing.
Are you gonna do the Scott Steiner math live on air?
No, God no.
Okay, all right.
Doing that shit. 60% of the time, every time.
So, I mean, we got to keep this in mind, man, because every time you like pull up like the Steam survey, dude, there is a large chunk of people still playing on the 4 gig cards, man. Like, making do with what you got. We've all been there. You know, a lot of people start there. Like, hey, can I get this to work? I did a bunch of testing on a 4 gig card last week, and like, if there's a will, there's a way, man. You know,
and I think that's kind of it, right? Like, people don't have any fucking money. Shit's hard. Everything's expensive. Buying new video cards, buying new monitors are not a super huge priority. And, especially for monitors, like if you're going to buy a new component for your PC, it's more likely going to be a CPU or a video card than a monitor. Yep. So,
one of the things I've been talking about, like graphic Jeep, they went crazy and they never came back down. Like, there's no, I keep talking about 14-year-old Venn, like, that's just gone, dude. You gotta that's an entire summer job right there to like save that up and get that together. So, I was like recently, because I'm working on that video for the 06 with the facts, and I'm like, this is one of the things I'm going to be testing, like just in general on the aside for my own curiosity, is like, what can I do with on Linux anyway with like a RX 570 or RX 580, because that's a $60 to $70 video card. Which used to be a pretty damn good card, but that's an 8 gig card. Do we need 12 gigs? Do we need 16 gigs? If you're gaming at 1080p, no,
you don't need it. Like,
but it'd be nice to have the gimmicks, though. This is where gimmicks would come in handy if you're trying to run, a modern title like your FSR, or your ZSS or your DLSS.
Which again, to the point of using like the RX 580 is under Linux, like that is still getting new features. Like the community drivers are still like, the Mesa people are still fucking churning.
One of the things this week, AMD came out for the retail drivers, the consumer drivers, the Vulkan drivers, and the OpenCL. I think it was the OpenCL stuff. Correct me if I'm right. They're going to be using Mesa instead of their own package.
Really?
For the official drivers now. So the official drivers from AMD might, work.
That's that's crazy. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I was like, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, not for your pro drivers. Nope, those are still manked up and work with 2 versions of Ubuntu. Got it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, like, and we're going to be getting into this a little bit in like the next story as well. But like, yeah, a lot of the games people are like actually playing don't require that like comprehensive level of system requirements. And
isn't that like the big joke is like people are like, oh, let's get the 5090 and all that. And what do? You play Stardew Valley or like Minecraft,
you play Minecraft, exactly. Right? Like, yeah. So yeah, I think Azor here is definitely onto something, and as much as like you appreciate the artist's work and the people putting in the effort to make all these games look like really, really beautiful and whatnot, the system requirements are just too high, and they're there to justify the sales of these like overly expensive video cards that no one really needs. So
I think it's a part of that, and there's a part of the Unreal Engine 5ism that has infested everything with like, you just throw resources at it.
Yeah. Absolutely. We don't need to worry about optimization. Then the engine will handle it, and just buy a new video card.
I saw a bunch of people like praising Stellar Bay, which came out. Stellar Blade, there's a demo, runs on Linux. You got to switch to Proton 10 Beta if you want it to run, or you're not going to get the DX12s if you get an NVIDIA card anyway, and to be able to use the DLSS 4s. And but people are talking to the forums. They're like, this is fucking, because they thought it was going to be a shit show like any console first game coming to PC, and they're like, this thing's optimized to hell. This thing ran great on my 3060. I was like, oh, that's neat. I mean, it's Unreal Engine 5, like, but it can be hit or miss. That's completely.
That was the thing we were talking about with like Unity games, like 10, like fucking 8 years ago, when it was like, yeah, we were making fun of the Unity ghetto. There are Unity games that are like well designed and well optimized, and, like run well
done.
Yeah, like, and same thing with UE5. Like, you can do it if you put in the effort.
I mean,
like,
we've all seen games like on Unity anyway, and we're like, wait, this is on Unity?
Yeah.
I remember when I bought Core, which is a game developed by Microsoft Studios back in the day. I was like, I didn't know you could pull this off in Unity, and they did. Do either of you have a game right now that you can't run? Not can't run. Here, because I want everybody, let me know in the comments. You got something that you can't run. You're not playing because you can't run it at the fidelity that you'd be satisfied with to experience it.
It was Cyberpunk up until I got the 7800 XT, and now I'm just being a lazy bitch.
All right. Fair. Valid.
I would say the last game that I wasn't able to run at the fidelity, I'd probably say was, Cyberpunk, and that was when it initially came out. And that was on the 970M.
Yeah, I had my 2060 when Cyberpunk came out, and like I just bounced off of it for different reasons. Really, the only game I got right now, and see, this is kind of bullshit though, because I've already bounced off the game, is Spooderman 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that was the last Sony game I bought. I bought God of War day one. I'm like, take the money, get the message, and it was a bit of a shit show for the first couple, month or two. Spider-Man was like 8 months in. They addressed all the issues on PC and it started running. And I'm like, oh, I can play it now on, and it was running good. But then I get to experience the story that is Spider-Man 2. And I'm like, nah, can't do this. Peter Parker, you a punk, dude. Like, Mary Jane, you ain't no better, man. All right.
That's why Miles Morales is better, man.
More like Peter Punker, am I right?
Peter Punker pie.
Ooh. But, this really comes down to, are the new games even that much better than, say, the older games?
Yes.
What? Oh. Okay, technically wise, maybe.
Drags out Atari for the ET, all right?
Honestly, I would say, with the exception of maybe Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2, the latest generation of Spider-Man games are, probably the best ones that have come out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As far as Spider-Man
I
games
still
go?
miss the original Spider-Man game.
For the Atari?
Yeah, for the Atari, where it was little red block with white line that it represented the swinging.
I'd play that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why won't old games like that ever die?
That's a good question, Sandy.
This is a long question with that deserves an even longer answer. So an article came out, a little opinion piece from Pleromanen. What's the guy's name?
Pleromanen X86 is the guy's name.
This shit's burnt into my fucking brain. Why? Because I don't know if this was the first, but to me, this was the first time I saw an in-game menu that was hardware accelerated. That shit was done with OpenGL. When you get into the game, it was all 3D, it had a high resolution. It wasn't you had your fucking VGA fucking settings and shit, then the 3D shit loaded in. This was all at one time. It was amazing. I'm talking about Unreal Tournament kids.
The Unreal Tournament 99. That was the days, man. But that was a completely different technology too at that time. So we were still on the CRT monitors and he goes into a whole host of different reasons of why people like the older games and why people still play a lot of the older games. He even mentions about the Stalker franchise and in
that
terms of just modding support as
plug.
being one of the reasons.
Dude. Ow.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
Those
beads. I remember those Dell PC ads back when I didn't have a computer.
Yeah.
I would gaze longingly at them.
Dude, I always thought those towers looked dope as hell at that time. Because they were just the regular bricks. Oh yeah, Wolfenstein.
The Alienwares. But yeah, no, the article here, or the blog post here, it's the usual suspects: low system requirements, dedicated servers, nostalgia, insane mods,
LAN parties, man.
Yeah,
yes.
Being able to run the game on a local network with your friends over a VPN, whatever, that shit's great. Not having to deal with randos and people screaming profanities at you or random bots or hackers coming in. The only hackers are your friends, and then you can just drive to their house and smack them. Also, the lack of monetization, every game that's coming out these days, especially AAA games, tend to have very, very aggressive monetization and a very money first design. These other games are before that era. So The money first design was, let's make a crappy game and trick people into buying it.
Then we all
Absolutely.
in 8 months released the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
PlayStation greatest hits. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like another reason too, like especially nowadays, like nostalgia definitely plays like a heavy role for why a lot of these older games are popular. So like another reason is like a lot of those older games, because we were still moving up in terms of the technology of where technology was going.
Well,
Like
the shit
a
was
lot of
making
developers,
jumps, man. Like we went from a fucking SNES to a goddamn PlayStation 2 in like how many years?
5, not even that.
4, yeah.
We had an emotion engine, people.
Yeah.
We had a console that could cry.
Now, although it's funny, it's interesting because we always bring up the Nintendo PlayStation. I do wonder, would it have been even faster if Nintendo had not screwed Sony out of the PlayStation deal? Would that have like
I think that deal would have fucked itself up in other ways, just because those two companies are like, Nintendo's going to be Nintendo and Sony's not a fucking saint, dude.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, like,
but like I don't know, like because you look at a lot of the games back then, just because of like the limitations that they had at the time. You had a lot of unique mechanics for games that were essentially visually the same.
Yeah,
you know,
sports.
so like, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and like, a lot of it is just like we were talking about in the previous Preshowzen with CRT filters, right? Like they don't really make them the way they used to.
No, absolutely not. But like, that's
a
the
lot
thing
of it is like,
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, and that's kind of a big proponent to why people go back, is because a lot of those key features you can't find it anywhere else. Like, people could try to replicate it, but it's never going to be the same.
Like, emulator, yeah. I mean, this is like.
I do have to wonder though, like a lot of it has to be like the comfort food aspect. Like nostalgia is a way bigger driver of this kind of stuff, because it's not just the game, it was the emotional state you were in when you played the game the first time that you're trying to recapture, right? Like
I think to some extent there are definitely people that like to go back and play stuff that, like, because it's a bunch of games, like you would have maybe 4 or 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be 200-300 games on the system. I mean, it was going back and playing stuff that you never touched before. Be like, ooh, I can play all the. I remember like the first time I saw like 50 Nintendo ROMs to download. I was like, motherfucker, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna run out of games to play ever.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because I just like list of games, and even then, it had been like 7 or 8 years since the Nintendo was around, like as a popular thing, and I'm like, I can't wait to play all these games that I couldn't afford. And I think there's some of that going back for the old technology. There's been a resurgence in just retro games. Like, we're just coming to the end of the hipster pixel thing, man. Like that was real, and like that's been around for about a little over half a decade. That resurgence.
Well, now we're getting into PS1 core, so like,
yeah, right.
Oh yes,
Wiggle core, man.
Yeah,
Wiggle polygons.
Low polygon core.
Yeah, dude. Wiggle shaders, dude.
Dude, it's happening. But yeah, like another proponent too, like especially with the back to the ROMs, like you have like ROM hacking, like people creating their own custom ROMs or versions of a game, like changing up stories and stuff like that. Modding has been such a huge thing for like a lot of these games.
Retro achievements, right? People are going back and like adding achievements to like older games.
Yes.
Adding accessibility options, adding all sorts of stuff that just like were not present because the technology wasn't at the level it needed to be at the time.
But I don't think necessarily new games are just going to die. I think now we're better equipped to preserve stuff than we've ever been.
Mm-hmm.
With the technology, keeping stuff around like we really want to if it's good. But there's another problem. There's about 100-fold more games, and I think that's an extraordinarily low ball versus what was available as games 20 years ago. Like a lot of that stuff is going to die. It's just going to fall away because nobody ever knew it existed.
Well, and a lot of newer games too are going to like just die because they exist on a dedicated server somewhere. No one's going to dump a binary. No one's going to like drop drop anything, right?
How many times have we on the show looked at a game that had 0 reviews on it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's a compounding problem too, because old games now have to compete with literally every other game that has come out previously, especially when a couple of those games are World of Warcraft and Fortnite, right? It's going to be hard, and people are always going to be vying for a slice of the attention economy, and a lot of great art is going to fall down the drain as a result. And
it's good to see stuff, Expedition 33 coming in and just telling a bunch of fucking executives just get fucked.
They're going to 100% take the wrong message away from that one, though. We need smaller teams. We need to fire more people.
AAA's been pushing the whole thing of well, this is why we need $80 games, and they come in here with a $50 game, and they're like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. So, we don't know. You never know where these curveballs are going to come from, but that's not going to stop anybody from buying a Switch 2 and paying $20 for Mario All-Stars pack for the 5th time.
Yeah, exactly.
$20, $50.
They got a coupon, all right?
There's no coupon on the Nintendo store.
Nintendo does a coupon.
You say, what do you think this is? Steam? Get back to your freaking Windows installation.
You've been spoiled.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to come sit on our front porch in our rocking chairs and wax about the good old bad old days of gaming, you can do that. Let us know what you're thinking. Get in touch. Leave us a comment below the video if you're a patron. Drop it in right there, and we'll definitely get it into the show. Or send us an email. No reply at LinuxGameCast.com. Like Chris did, talking about a deathmatch. Oh, shit.
Yes.
We gonna fight?
Deathmatch Classic. He says, hey, LGC, thanks, Pedro, for all the time you put into the show. I appreciate your contributions over the last decade. The Portuguese plague will be missed. Unfortunately, Pedro's retirement means an ascendant Canada. Are Jill and Venn enough to counter the growing Canadian menace? Will Sandy be made to move to start LGC Africa or Asia, or a senior Canadian v junior Canadian deathmatch? More apropos, live stream for all the patrons, of course. All the best.
I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
I love it.
Yeah,
you need your beady eyes and your unhinged jaw.
I do.
Yeah,
I didn't have. I couldn't find my toque.
No, you gotta get the ugly. No, you gotta do the Ugly Bob paper bag. Damn it, Ugly Bob! Why are you so ugly?
He looks like everyone else.
I had to divorce you because you're so ugly. Yeah, Celine Dion divorced him because after he got plastic surgery, right?
Yeah, right. Long as Alec the Baldwins are all right, we'll be okay. Don't worry about it. But thanks for writing in, Chris. Death matches can always fucking happen. You never know. Don't rule it out.
Nobody expects the steel chair to the back of the head.
No
one. Exactly.
We got
or the Spanish Inquisition.
We got a nice thank you for one of our beautiful party patrons, Kajorai, teaching us a little lesson about some turtle Christmas or something.
Turtle Miss? Kamehameha? Kaijoi writes in, audio or video version, the brain still mixed with working almost each and every week. Remind me to tune in. Merry 666 Turtle Christmas, LGC. If you're confused, just YouTube 666 Turtle Christmas to take part in a nonsensical tradition spanning nearly 2 decades. The music's under copyright, so maybe do it off stream. My bad if my humor's a little too out there. Lol.
All right, hang on. I'm not going to I might not be showing you guys the screen. Oh, hang
on. Technology? I
already like where this is going. Just seeing the thumbnail alone.
Okay, all right.
Go Ninja, go. All right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I see what's happening here. All right, that makes more sense in context.
Yep.
Not safe for work. All right. Oh, Usagi Yojimbo, where are you? Your only hope.
Poor Stan Sakai. That guy cannot catch a break.
Oh, no, man. We're going to break. Get it the fuck out of here for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Come check us out live right here, 8 p.m. Twitch.tv/LinuxGameCast. Put us in your ear holes. All the podcasts, all available, all the places. Come check out the shit I had to get up to interfacing Linux. You got some questions about your audio video shit. You want to get into some gaming. Going to be making my own Steam machine. Stay tuned for that. We're going to be talking about this badass ARM shit coming up in the upcoming weeks. Fex gaming on ARM, just like Steam's doing, the big boys. That's what Proton and the Deckard is going to be fucking around with. So We want to be up to speed. But for tonight, everybody, it's time to cue that music. You can always find us, again, right here, 8 p.m., right on Twitch. You want to get in touch with me? I'm Ben on all the social medias. Pop in our super secret Discord if you're a patron, Twitch sub, or YouTube sub. Come say hi. I'll say moo back. And get in touch with me. Any questions again? Interfacing Linux, and yeah, that's pretty much that.
Well, I am hungry for fried chicken. I am Jordan. Message me on Mastodon at Frojo@mass.linuxgamecast.com or on Blue Sky at Frojo@bsky.app. And I will come through your TV and steal your fridge.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, hells yeah. And I am the sweaty pierogi known as Sandy. You can find me on Mastodon at Altimore at mass.linuxgamecast.com.
You know what? That sounds legit, isn't that right? Oh my God! Hang on, I need a bigger picture. Hang on, shut up, Vin. Get to the image.
Yeah, get to the image.
Open. Yeah,
open says me.
Yeah, open image in new tab. Finally, thank you. There we go. Here, there we go.
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, the kernel.
It's the
listen, Robo wants an Oreo. That's all I'm gonna say.
Time for some credits.
Seductive.
How?
Man, we need the $7 Snickers bar sized Xanax that you can just buy at any corner. That would solve all the fucking problems in the world.
Chill people the fuck out.
Yeah, thanks Robert Evans for that one. We got to thank our advisors out there, and we got to thank Barbara, Scott, Atomic, 1234, Kurducky, Drummer, the Targos. We got to thank our little Nicky fans, Eggy, Empty, Basil, and no more Casey. Sad.
No, Barbie. John, Dirty Dean, Angel, the Dementor System, RL, Racker, Mamashina, Namhai, Bertunedai, Trugai, Micah, and Kojorai.
And the Death Notes. We got Redski, Mark J, Oil of Hope, Benjamin Nova, Chad Romeo, Sheep Steve.
Damn it, Sheepy Steve.
Old
Sheepy Steve.
As opposed to Human Steve,
Yeah.
Sheep Steve.
Yeah,
That's
as
the
opposed to Human Steve.
And of course, all of our cheerlings and our Libra players making it happen.
Like this guy.
Yeah.
Not the one next to me, but the one past him.
Wait,
Does it work? There you go. You got to stick your arm out a little bit, though, to match up.
My shortcut is go to the wrong side. That's the...
There we go. Oh, almost lined up. Maybe.
Okay, wait, hold on. Can we touch fingers?
touch tips.
You gotta go.
We did it!
Wait, hang on.
Fusion!
Too late. Dynafire, everyone. See you next week. Yeah, French Vegeta died.
Yeah, Fridge.
That's crazy.
5 dudes.